In action here at Croke.
At this stage, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. After really not playing each other much over quite a few years, all of a sudden now we're becoming over familiar. But the fact that they're in different competitions and maybe different things at stake, wouldn't it be great to have a chance to play against the All-Ireland champions in the next round? So it's a big motivation for both teams.
Especially after how close you came last time?
Yeah, but I think Wexford football, one thing we've learned is that you can't. The previous season is the previous season. We just got to get on with this season we're in now. You can't really look back at it. We're just working on this year, and last year's just thing of the past.
You've obviously already knocked Laois out of Leinster. How different a prospect is this today, Wexford?
Well, it's a completely different prospect from the point of view of the conditions, number one. And I suppose going out against Laois, we knew probably to face into a very tough day defensively from their point of view, that they would have set up very defensively. So I'd imagine Wexford, looking at their progress over the last couple of years, has been based on knocking up high scores and you know, the quality forwards, and from that point of view it's going to be different.
Those two players in.
They were throwing it up into the air, and then the next man was picking it up and throwing it up at me.
But it's like
I mean, like actually those balls kind of bounced away. Do you remember the old football with the lace in it?
I remember Derry, whenever Tom Brown or Tom Scullion from Balahi was taking Derry, one night he got the lads, Brian McGilligan and Plugin Murphy and all these big lads, to carry a block in each hand and run around the pitch with the block. Now, it was a real novelty.
But a warm-up, Michael.
And what is he? McGilligan was skipping around the field with the blocks, you know, and Fergal McCusker could hardly lift one block, never mind. You know, the whole thing disintegrated into farce. These things are serious.
A warm-up is what it says on the tin. It's to warm up and stretch, get into the pace again. But the key thing is that you get into all the skills you'll be using. A golfer, most of those fellas hardly kicked the ball. There was very little kicking in it. It's like a golfer going out for 18 holes without practicing his putting.
Let's see who's got the best medicine today. Time to head back.
We've had over the past 24 hours, it seems, at this stage. Back there for Longford, trying to win the possession and succeeding. It's Donald McElligott, fouled, takes the free kick himself. Up as far as Sean McCormack. This is a very crafty corner forward. Played back towards Brian Kavanagh, and the Kilmacud Crokes player has to take an extra moment with it, but it was worthwhile because he has found the range brilliantly, and that's a super start for Longford. Division 3 winners then getting the opening point here in the championship. Their second outing, Wexford's first, and Brian Kavanagh linking up with McCormack at a great finish.
Yeah, that's an instinctive finish. Sean McCormack did very well to win the ball, give a difficult enough pass.
And tries to make a bit of an angle for a support player maybe, and that is nicely dispatched and well put over the bar. Beautifully done here by Kieran Ling.
Yeah, that's great combination play. I must say Red Barry lost his marker very well that time, made a great run into space to receive the ball, give the ball, again, a lovely pass to Kieran Ling, the timing excellent, the accuracy equally so. Very good opening score.
Jason Ryan patrolling the sideline, the two rival managers this afternoon. From that kick out, it's Brosnan again. Punched down towards a support player. Barry releasing it for Flynn. And Adrian Flynn has suddenly slipped by the markers. Will it curl in? If it does, it's a lovely point. That's a super score. Adrian Flynn was one of just 4 scorers to score for Wexford in last year's Leinster final, on a day when they could have beaten Dublin and went close. Look at this again. Lovely move initially, and then with the outside of the boot, judged it to perfection, right between the posts, on a day when the wind is doing the players absolutely no favour. Balanced, controlled, and superbly over.
Fully agree with you there, Ger.
It's a wayward kick, but there's a lot of Longford players back. At times they get upwards of 12 players back inside the Wexford half of the field, but there's space at the other end then when they counter. And it's Brian Kavanagh who got the earlier point, and now he shows that he's in right good form and really up for this challenge. A man for the big occasion. 2 points apiece.
We'll talk about contrasting styles. There's only 2
there as far as Flynn. Gave it instead to Quinn Livin. Now it's freed up outside here as far as Adrian Flynn, a point scorer already. And he's got another one. Right foot and left foot. Terrific shooting there by the 27-year-old from Gussaran. Well, in his 22nd championship appearance, he's done really well here. Took the pass from Quinn Livin into space. Got it onto the left. He's a very accomplished footballer as Wexford go back in front by 3 points to 2.
Yeah, that's a superb score. And once again, the reason Flynn is up there is because so many Longford... I don't think there's anything No, he just... I don't think there was anything untoward about that, really. I don't think there was a punch or anything thrown. They just had it, as they say, coming together.
As far as Niall Mulligan, and again almost running into a roadblock. Back it comes once again to the scorer-in-chief, Brian Kavanagh, and he's having a field day so far. And Graham Malloy, his marker, is going to have to tie him up a little bit better than that. That's 3 shots at the target and 3 points for Brian Kavanagh, and it's 3 points apiece.
Well, he started off very, very well. I think it was Donald McGillick at that time gave the ball back out to him, but
30 metres or so out from the target. Breeze behind him, trying to judge it perfectly. The umpires look at one another, and the white flag is raised, and McCormack's got his first point, and Longford it off in its own particular direction. Out to lead Chin. Chin is a terrific soccer player as well. Inside here as far as Conor Carty. 2 players who got the call up before the start of the match to Ben Brosnan. Ooh, it strikes the post, and Damien Sheridan was taking no chances, and Longford get away with it. Out to Mickey Quinn. Challenged, pressurised. Ball won back by Kieran Ling, and will that get inside the right-hand post? Not quite. Swept away in the last 12 minutes now since Wexford last scored in this match. That's a huge one down as far as Sean McCormack. He's got 1 point from a free already. Trying to get the better of Niall Murphy. That's not easy. Penned in over there, but releases it to McElligott in as far as Niall Mulligan. And Niall Mulligan kicking it wide from a good position. And he... Breeze is the only real major point of difficulty across towards Kieran Ling. His brother played last night for the Wexford Hurlers. Diarmid on as far as Rory Quinlivan. It strikes the post, comes down towards Barry Gilliran, who's lost it. Brosnan has it. In comes Shane Roach. The goalkeeper's legs get to it. Then there's a foul by Niall Mulligan, I think. No, it is Niall Mulligan, yes. Just as the Wexford forward was advancing menacingly, reached out, caught. It
was a good goal chance that time. Maybe Shane Roach, maybe a bit unlucky not to have finished it, but definitely in that case there, Niall Mulligan did commit a foul, and it gives Kieran Ling another chance.
Kieran Ling with this interesting style of free taking, just about 2-3 steps forward. He's loads of power in the shot eventually, and he fires out.
A lovely bit of interplay between Niall Mulligan and Sean McCormack, and Niall Mulligan definitely was fouled. It mightn't have looked very much, but it was a cynical enough little push in the back to prevent him from getting on the ball and finishing with a goal.
So the team playing, looking for his first score of this afternoon's quarter-final. So can he make it? Yes, he can. Longford lead, 1-4 to 5 points. Perfectly executed penalty by Paul Barden, the 32-year-old from Clongwish, played off here by Mickey Quinn. Again, the long ball used into the inside forward line, and Kavanagh and McCormack are so good and have the measure of the backs. Again, it's Kavanagh, and it's the usual result. That is superb. Absolutely wonderful play. He can do no wrong.
He can do no wrong indeed, but the amount of space if he can get forwarded by Graham Malloy is just criminal from a Wexford point of view. His movement, certainly Kavanagh's movement, is outstanding, but I think he's got in possession about 5 times in the half and scored 4 points from play, and each one of them just pure delights to watch.
Behind them for the second half, but even as we look at it now with the little flags around the ground, it's no longer the kind of strong gusting wind that it was around about 2 o'clock. It's eased a little bit. Here's Conor Carty. Wexford trying to put on a little spurt now before the half-time break. Shane Roach back out as far as Eric Bradley, and that will curl in. That's a terrific kick by Bradley. Wonderful shot from out there near the sideline, and the 30-year-old from Adamstown gets his first of the afternoon. He was out around the 20-metre line, but only about 10 metres from the sideline. Great kick, and 2 points the margin once again, 1-5 to 6 points.
Well, fair dues to him for backing himself that time. That was a very difficult angle, but he...
Hand passes so far. Wexford 95, 39 for the opposition. That is an amazing stat. Here comes Rory Quinlivan. Down to Brosnan. Waiting to play it off to a colleague. Flynn, who's got 2 points in the first half. He's got a third. What a display. A real tour de force here by the wing-back, who, as you say, comes back because Longford retreat, give him that latitude, And my goodness, does he avail of it. He's willing always, looking for a ball to be dished off to him by one of the forwards. Great finishing again.
Yeah, just watch the support angle he takes this time and steps inside. I think it's David Barton. He steps inside and shoots his third point of the half. But David Barton has to be more conscious. I didn't think he deserved a yellow card though.
Longford will be hoping to finish this half with another score. Only one between them at this stage. They've played with the wind. They've got the point. He's got his second. And now it is 1-6, 9 points to Wexford's 7.
Football. Hard to get, I suppose, a sense of excitement because the crowd is quite small.
Agreed, but it's tense, tight. Entertainment, no. Top quality, definitely not. Longford are set up very well defensively. And they've conceded just 2 points from play to the Wexford forwards. Wexford are naive and stupid. They're hand passing the ball to death. They're carrying the ball into the tackle. They're kick passing. They hand passed the ball over 100 times in that half. And they were hand passing the ball into fellas being surrounded. So a poor first half. Maybe in the second half, Longford might regret the fact that while they're very well set up defensively, and they have Brian Kavanagh in fantastic scoring form, he's been the only forward to score from play, and I just feel that in that half, when they had the wind, and you have the quality of forwards in the half-hour line, like Paul Barden and David Barden, that too much of their time was spent in defensive duties rather than in attack.
Wexford would have known what to expect, obviously, from this Longford team, having played them twice already through the league.
Yeah, well, I think the big problem was Longford have set up, you know, that defensive system, and then they're counter-attacking through the middle, and had they not been guilty of some very indisciplined tackling, which was needless because they had 3-4 men around, you know, everyone and everything. They gave away 5 scores from 7 from needless frees. You know, Longford should be really well ahead by now. Wexford's problem is that their half-back line, they have no definite strategy. Longford have a very definite strategy, and you can see they're playing with purpose. Everybody knows what they're doing. The problem with Wexford is they don't know what to do with their half-back line. So sometimes they're pushing up a wee bit. They're not sitting back and protecting their fullbacks. They're sort of standing in no man's land. Flynn's the only one who's gone forward. He's got 3 points as his reward for going forward. If I were Wexford, the Wexford manager needs to decide: do I instruct my half-back line to sit back and defend the full forwards the way Dublin did against Donegal last year? Right, you're doing it to us, we'll do it to you. Or alternatively, does he say to them, look, push up and attack them? Now, I personally think he should say push up and attack them, because that hems Longford back into their own half and you press them up the pitch then. But as it is, Wexford are falling between 2 stools, so Longford in a game where they've got very little...
Going short, swiftly in as far as Red Barry once again, throws the shoulder, tries to go McIlvanny, past McIlvanny and past Mulligan, and this time it's spot on and it's over the bar. And it's the opening point of the second half and the first of the day for Redmond Barry.
Yeah, very simple score. Barry made good space down along the left-hand side, just got onto his left foot and effortlessly put it up into the wind and over the bar.
Out making it his. Declan Riley brought out of position. That's an ambitious kick. Looks so good, but it comes down off the post, and the post is struck again. But that goes from the goalkeeper back out to Roach. Recycle back out here towards Carty, back in towards Brosnan, in as far as Adrian Flynn. 3 points in the first half, and he's got another. Leading scorer for his team, and he wears number 5. And the teams are level, 1-6 to 9 points, level for the 5th time. Well, all of that pressure was bound to produce something in the end. An assist pass by Brosnan, and the move completed by Adrian Flynn.
Yeah, Flynn has a great instinct for getting forward, and the timing
breaks down, and it's recouped and taken by Shane Roach. Back out it comes once again. Brian Malone locating Flynn and kicking from 45 metres. Well, he'll be looking for a place in the forward line after this. 5 points, all of them from open play for Adrian Flynn, the 27-year-old. He'd only scored 12 points in his 21 matches up to now, and he's got 5 this afternoon, and Wexford lead here by a point.
Well, that's an exhibition of long-range kicking from Adrian Flynn in both halves. Like, that's his 5th point, as you say, from play today. But just he is so confident at the moment. He's in the zone in terms of going for scores, and if they can just get him as their final outlet for passes, they're guaranteed to get more scores.
Mickey Flynn plays this off as far as David. High up into the sky, down towards Kavanagh, fisted away this time by Malloy, his marker. recovered there by McCormack, back out as far as Colm Smith, played in there towards Bardin, a little jinking run by Paul Bardin, the penalty goal scorer, and he's got a second. 44 minutes on the clock gone, and what a lift that is for Longford. Their first score of the second half. It may have taken them 9 minutes to produce it, but what about this for an effort? He got a terrific goal against Laois. That's another absolute beauty, and what a championship he's having. Paul Bardin rifles it into the top of Anthony Masterson's net, and it's 2-6 to 10. McCormack, lovely dummy there by Sean McCormack, back in as far as Keenan, and here's a chance, and it was David Bardin that time, and Anthony Masterson got in the way. Back out again it comes, and the ball flying around that area, in as far as John Keenan, and it's eventually Mulligan who kicks it, and it's put over the bar by Niall Mulligan, his first point in the championship, after Anthony Masterson had foiled Longford earlier on. But that's a very good spell now for them. A goal and a point without a reply by Longford. Ball popped out here eventually, a few players were there, Mulligan got to it, and he's put it over the bar. Ben Brosnan's going to take this. He's got a goal, about a point already from a free. Outside the 45-metre line, catches it well, and lets it sail in over that crossbar just inside the left-hand upright. His first point of the second half. It's Banville who's taken up a good position, looking to play it off here as far as Redmond Barry, getting away from his marker. Looks composed as he kicks it in, and the goalkeeper had enormous difficulty and touched it up over the crossbar, and for a moment I thought Damien Sheridan was even in more distress than that. They give away a point. Longford could have given away a goal.
I fully agree with you, Jerry. I felt myself that time Damien Sheridan totally misread the flight of the ball, came out too far off his goal behind you.
Mickey Quinn goes long against the breeze. It's fisted back, and it comes to McElligott, and it runs on kindly in the end. Brian Kavanagh all the way down. Once again, Sean McCormack does well, and that is a super kick. The philosophy is very simple. Get the ball into the forwards, they're the one who win matches. Give them a chance.
Oh, that's a beautiful dip at the shoulder this time by McCormack. Just sidesteps inside Niall Murphy, who is on a yellow card, who probably can't tackle his
goalkeeper. And Wexford would want to raise the tempo of the game a little bit. They're trailing by 2. There are 12 minutes left to play, and it's Banville now. In as far as Kieran Ling, and that's one back.
It was absolutely beautiful that time. The quality of the ball that time from Banville to Ling, the link-up was perfect. Just watch it, and Ling just, like Kavanagh in the first half, knows where the posts are, shot it directly between them. But I must say, I just love the timing and the weight of that pass that Banville gave.
So now just a 1-point game. Kieran Ling's third point of the match. Scrambled for possession, wonderful catch again in the middle of the park there by Niall Mulligan this time, and stepping into the breach, Paddy Byrne. Forced forward as far as Rory Quinlivan. Dashing forward, McIlvenny got in the way. There's Colm Smith, back as far as Declan Riley for Longford. Ben Brosnan has this chance to tie up the match. The angle is quite awkward. He's got 2 points from frees already, and he's now got a third, and the sides are level for the 6th time. Whatever the merits of the free being awarded in the first place, Wexford were not going to look that gift opportunity in the mouth, and Champions League. So this in their third meeting in 8 weeks. Wexford looking to try and steal a march. Eric Bradley playing with the wind in as far as Kieran Ling. Back here it comes, and that's the cornerback Rob Tierney. And Rob Tierney, in his debut match in the championship, has kicked his first point. Wexford fans are happy in the 69th. Oh, cool here, because they know exactly what Longford can do given half a chance. Brian Malone, back out through Malloy, runs away towards Walters, pursued by McIlvany of Longford, and he's got it, the Longford man. One last chance. We're into the last minute. It goes in as far as Kelly. Kelly, who got a goal in the league final, goes in. He's won a free, a chance to tie up the match, and Wexford have only themselves to blame.
Oh, very much so. That's scandalous defending by Wexford that time. Okay, they've played the ball laterally across their own half-back line, and fair play to young Kelly. He went straight for goals, sucked in the defence, managed to engineer a free in for himself, and I'd say Sean McCormack now just has to hold his nerve.
And Kelly took as many steps as he could, but he got away with it.
Got away with it.
McCormack to kick this. His style is intriguing. He visualises where it's going to go, follows through, and the wind is against him, but he's done well. He's kicked it over. He's got a 4th point.
I'm sure Ger and Martin will be happy to get in out of the cold. It's freezing here in Croke Park this afternoon. But at least, I suppose, lads, the second half livened things up a little bit for us.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to disagree with Martin. He said most enjoyable and great, very entertaining. It wasn't. It was a very, very poor game of football.
It was a good second half.
I enjoyed it.
It was
it
was better than the first half. I'll agree to that. What you had there was you had too much defensive-based, safety-first football, which meant the reason Longford didn't win was that they were obsessed with being negative and being too defensive, and didn't place enough faith in their own team's ability to deliver. The reason why Wexford didn't win was that they were absolutely naive and stupid and they couldn't counteract the Longford defensive system, and they tried to hand pass the ball to death, and they overdid the possession game.
In the second half, I disagree with that, but I have to say, in the second half, Wexford decided to go for it a bit more. Now, Flynn had always been attacking, and Wexford started to play with a bit of confidence and adventure. I mean, their cornerback scored a point, Flynn scored 2 or 3 further points. They did attack forward at all times. Longford were hemmed into their own defence. Because they were so conservative, because the Bardens, who are very dangerous forwards, were stuck in the centre of their own defence. As the game wore on and Wexford pressed up the field, Longford's full forward line was totally isolated. I mean, Brian Kavanagh didn't get a sniff at a shot in the second half, and really Longford were very, very lucky to survive. You know, a bit of incompetence on the part of Wexford at times kept them in it, but I mean, it really was Wexford's game in the second half. I thought it was a good feisty second half, I have to say.
Feisty and exciting.
Pretty good.
But you know, one of the problems you have in modern day Gaelic football is that with all the backroom staff that's involved, there's strength and conditioning coaches, there's performance coaches, there's physiotherapists, there's statisticians, dietitians,
medicine ball procurers, procurers.
But you know what no team seem to have? I never really say forward coach. And the type of forward play there today.
Wexford have a forward coach.
Well, he's
not called Higgerty, I think.
He's not doing a great job.
Well, I think the Wexford forwards are good, Pat. Wexford forwards are good.
I thought
the big problem with Wexford.
How could you say Wexford forwards are good, Joe?
This is the big.
Excuse me.
Hold on, bear with me a wee second.
Right.
The Wexford problem is this.
Yes.
Wexford ought to kick the ball quickly. They've plenty of boys who can do it. They've plenty of good defenders who can actually kick the ball. They're built to play that sort of game because they do play with a sense of style and dash, and they can score. They really should have powered on in the second half and won it. But it is right to say that they are moving the ball forward far too laboriously. But this is the modern way. You look at the wides count. I think there were 3 wides altogether in the second half and 4 wides in the first half, and that typifies the modern game, which is built.
I'm just writing down a stat here. This is for your benefit, to add to your collection. Latest update on hand passes and kicks. In the match, there was 305 hand passes and 75 kicks.
Oh, that's terrible.
Does that add to your...
Well, it does, because it's something like now that in the league finals, in those 4 league finals that were played in Croke Park over the 2 days, the ball was hand passed every 13 seconds. The ball was kicked every minute, and this is what started happening now.
I'm losing the will to live.
Yeah, but what's happening is that
he'd actually get a job as one of those fellas that'd be down.
There are lies, damn lies, and statistics.
What do you call it, the medicine ball and all that sort of thing.
But this is just what
you should be doing.
It's the cracked record.
It's ridiculous, but I mean,
let's get the thoughts of the 2 managers. That's Longford's Glenn Ryan and the Wexford manager Jason Ryan. They've been talking to Joanne.
Glenn, did you think it was gone there?
We did, yeah, but you're not, the boys battled back well, and just they really put a massive effort in, and we did.
Adrian, congratulations on being the Ulster Bank Football Man of the Match. I thought you were supposed to be a defender.
I play in forwards for the club, so I like getting up there, and I'm told to attack when I can, so that's basically all I try to do as much as I can. We do a lot of shooting drills, the backs do, and training as well, so we're well equipped for when it happens, you know.
Well, congratulations, Paul Cummiskey, the commercial manager of Ulster Bank, is here to present you with your award.
Thank you. Well done.